I need to get better at knowing where I am in Geoguessr when I'm not near a major city or a lot of signage and language. So today I'm going to be learning landscape metas in Geoguessr, so let's see how I do, and without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Alright, we are in a road, right side driving, double yellow middle, white outer. I feel like this feels like the US to me, like maybe the Southwest US is what I'm thinking. These are very like flat, red, rocky, like kind of mountainous things in the back. There is a boulevard on the right, but I don't recognize it if it's like a specific region. But it's kind of giving Southwest, kind of giving US, so maybe I'll go like Arizona, like north of Phoenix. Okay. We were in the right state, so I'll definitely take it. It was a mesa landscape in the United States, so the Southwest, centered around the Four Corners regions of Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado, features many mesas and tablelands. Often, these rock formations will be red in color. Additionally, red soil is common in these areas. Okay, we'll take it for sure. Ooh. White back of the car. Mountains. Kind of cloudy, kind of rainy. This one I'm a little bit more unsure about. The other one just like screams Southwest US to me. What is this screaming to me? Maybe the vegetation is giving me South America. I'm not entirely sure. I like these pretty purple flowers though. Yeah, I'm not getting like Asia vibes or Europe vibes. I think I'll go in Colombia. I don't really know why. We'll learn where we are, but that's the guess that I had in my head. I don't know if this is really far off, though. Okay, we were in Peru. So we're in the Tumbes area. So these three landscapes are typically found along off-roads in Tumbes. You will always see sandy soil with either green or withered bushes. Okay. Tumbes does not have black cars on off-roads. Make sure to consider it when you see such landscapes with a white street view car. Okay. White outer, yellow dash middle. Driving on the right. I can see Spanish on the sign. Okay, kind of sandy hills everywhere. Okay, because I see the black and white stripes under this, like, road sign on the right side, I know that we're in Peru because Spanish language plus that stripe combination under signs is Peru. Now, where do I think I am within Peru? Very sandy. So, do I see a lot of like brick buildings or something? Not really. Maybe I'm thinking more north, like near Piura. Alright, so despite only getting 1.5k there, we were in the right country, but we were on the complete wrong side. This was the southern part of Peru, flat desert. So areas near the cities of Ica, Arequipa, and Tacna feature barren and mostly flat desert landscapes that can resemble areas in northern Chile. You can typically see mountains in the distance, primarily while looking to the east. Okay. I feel like I should have gotten that. I was kind of like 50-50 on whether it was like all the way north or south. But I clearly went north there. Okay. So we know that this is Ghana black tape because it's on the front right bar. If it was on the back right bar, it'd be Reunion. But we're not here for car metas, we're here for landscape metas. So, red dirt, very like lush vegetation. Where do I think we are in Ghana? I don't really know Ghana region guessing, but this will help me to start to learn it. Maybe I'll go a little bit more north near like Wenchi. Okay, you know what? Not horrible, not great. I mean, we got 4,000, but we were on the opposite side of the country. So these were eastern mountains. Tall mountain ranges in Ghana are typically seen near Lake Volta in the highlighted area, which is over here. Okay. Ooh, mountains again. Car. Very wide road, but not like a paved road or anything. Tall trees. I'm not entirely sure of the continent here. Lots of tall pine trees and mountains. Part of me thinks Europe. Part of me thinks North America here. I feel like this is one of those rounds where I'm not entirely sure on the continent. I'll go Canada and we'll see where we are, like in Sask. I really, truly do not know. Okay, we were in Russia. So we only got 26 points there. This was the Buryatia landscape. So the landscape in Buryatia is very unique, containing open grassy landscape with shrubs and mountains. It's lesser near Baikal, Lake Baikal, which I think is like the deepest, one of the deepest points in Earth or something like that, or one of the deepest lakes or something like that. It is lesser near Baikal, but the mountains persist. Okay. So we could have gone closer there. Also, the name Buryatia reminds me of Barada. 11.9, let's keep going. Okay, so without looking at like the names of the cities on the sign, because I can like see those cities and then like scan for that information, let's just look at the vegetation. So we're in Korea because of like the language that I saw. White outer, white dash middle. We're looking at the landscape, kind of like hilly. I can see kind of like, you know, farmland going over this hill. I'm trying not to look too much at the language because I feel like that's going to be like not the purpose of this meta learning video, you know? So maybe I'll say we're further out from Seoul because of how hilly it is. So let's go near Jeonju. Did I just cook there? Wow, 4.944. Okay, so Gimje Plain. So the area around Gimje can be recognized by being one of the only completely flat areas of South Korea. Wow, I kept saying it was hilly, but it was completely flat, which is interesting because I thought I saw like the whatever was in the farmland being grown like going over a hill, but I guess not. But it's okay because we got the right area. We'll take it anyway. So one of the only completely flat areas of South Korea, combined with the open yellow-green fields along almost every road in the area. Okay. Okay, so kind of mountainous, kind of hilly. Not really anything on the car, but we're kind of looking more at the vegetation and everything. The rocks are more like a white gray kind of a color. There is green alongside like the hilliness of the mountains, but not like a lush green vegetation, more just like grass green, I guess. This is like a very like large mountain range. I can see it like very far out in distance. There's a lot of it. I don't know what country or continent we're in. I do see a bollard in the back, but no discernible like stripes or anything. For some reason, I'm gonna go Turkey here, but I couldn't tell you why. This might be halfway across the world. I'll go near Kastamonu and we'll see where we are. Okay, we were in New Zealand, so these were the sandy cliffs of New Zealand, which probably should have gotten because New Zealand's in my top 3 countries in duels, but I guess the more you know. So, bright sandy cliffs are a common sight in the central region of Manawatu, Wanganui. They may also be found in parts of Taranaki, Waikato, and a road going to Hawke's Bay. Okay, sometimes the cliffs may appear like sandy rocks. Okay, so that was kind of like the color I was seeing, like the white, grayish color of the rocks. We are seeing red dirt and a lot of trees, but not like super tall trees, not really pine or palms either. I can't tell if we're driving on the left or not because there's not 2 cars in the road. Oh, actually, no, we are driving on the left because I can see the car in the back there. So I do think we are in Australia, but not because of the landscape metas. Because of the left side driving, and then this pole over here is like a rusty Northern Territory pole. But maybe combining like my meta knowledge of other areas is okay with combining the landscape metas because it'll help me to like really confirm when I'm in a duel, like where I am. So because of this, I'm pretty sure we're in Northern Territory, which is up here. Now, I don't know how many areas appear in Northern Territory in Australia, like in maps and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of times when I get Northern Territory, we're kind of just near Darwin, so I'm going to go there. Okay, cool. We were near Darwin, so the vegetation in the area surrounding Darwin is extremely distinct. It features dark red soil as well as rich green grass and trees. The tree trunks are typically black. Okay. 4.957. Ooh. White outer. An antenna peeking out the back. 2024 copyright. There are like rocky ledges all around us, I want to say. Like, I don't know if they're mountains technically. They're kind of like a white color with like a reddish tint to it, but not like red mountains like we kind of had in the first round in Southwest US. For some reason, because of this like tree with like the very flat top, I want to go Namibia. I haven't learned any Namibia region guessing, so I don't know if this is really far off here, but that's just kind of like, I feel like you'd see that tree in Namibia, so I'll go near Rehoboth. Okay. Not close at all. This was in Israel, Timna National Park. So Timna National Park can be recognized by the complete dryness combined with the mountain ridges in all directions. Okay. White dash middle. Nothing really in sight. Are those cows? Are those moo-moos? Hello, moo-moos. I love a moo-moo. Hello. Right side driving. I feel like this is Russia, maybe because of the like tint to the footage. Lots of kind of like flat fields around us, lots of moo-moos, so maybe just like farmland kind of. I'll go near Kazan and we'll see where we are. Okay, this is Uruguay. So Eastern Flatland, the region near Lagoa Marine and the Brazil border in the southeast of the country is noticeably very flat, in contrast to the slight hills found in most of the rest of the country. Okay. Not my greatest set of rounds there, but that is okay because this is about learning and getting better. So let's keep going. Okay. Kind of hilly area around us. We have these like spiky trees, which is interesting, not a vegetation we've seen so far today. We have kind of like sheet metal roofs. I think this is like some sort of like square cubular water tank. It's a very puffy tree. This is like a puffy, kind of a pine, but like it's more of like a bowl shape, but not like a complete bowl shape. Like there are like points and stuff to it. This pole is like slightly rectangular, but not like round. No like holes in it or anything. There's just like one flat bar at the top with two coils, one on either side. I'm not sure of the continent here. I feel like this is really showing like the gap in my knowledge. Like I'm definitely better when I have like language, signage, or I'm like near major cities or like, you know, things like bollards or something like that. I feel like when I first started playing Geoguessr, I was so much better at just like vibe guessing where I was. So I definitely need to work on just getting better at these like vibes and like learning landscapes and stuff, which is why I'm practicing today, because I've lost that a little bit. So spiky tree, sheet metal roofs, hilly. Where do I think we could be? Maybe I'll go South Africa, near Johannesburg. Okay. So we were in Chile. So Ilha Grande de Chiloé, a rolling agricultural landscape comparable to New Zealand, can be seen on Ilha Grande de Chiloé. Similar looking landscapes exist in some parts of the country, but usually more level. We are gonna keep going. So right side driving. License plates, no blue strip on them. Okay. Looking at just the vegetation, everything around me, very kind of like green hills. Like this is like it's like obviously it's like grass on the hills and stuff like that, but there's like, you know, bushes and stuff too. So it's like a little bit more lush than like some of the other rounds. A little bit of an antenna peeking at the back, but not like super coiled or anything. I can't read the language on that, unfortunately. So just vibes. Green sign in the back. No bollards in sight. I don't know what that sign is saying. Probably something with like trucks and like a truck weighing station or something if I had to guess. Right side driving. No EU thing. Green mile or kilometer marker thing over here. I truly don't know. I'll go Chile. I'll go north of Santiago. I really don't know what continent it is here, but yeah. Okay, not my worst guess so far. I low-key don't know how to recognize Puerto Rico without the area code or without the truck metas that like I've learned before, but I don't know if those truck metas have been overridden by new like copyright and everything. So Puerto Rico, southern dryness. Southern Puerto Rico can often look distinctly drier than the rest of the island. Okay, good to know. Ooh, that is a very big wind turbine there. White outer, white dash middle. Lots of wind turbines around us. Okay. We have a lot of these like pretty yellow flowers. It kind of reminds me of like popcorn. Just like popcorn peeking out of the bushes. Kind of hilly in the back, but not like super hilly. Now I can't stop thinking about these like popcorn bushes. I'm like, I don't know what kind of like flower it is. Okay, wind turbines, white outer, white dash middle. I don't know what this like stone thing is here. Is it a bollard? Truly, I'm unsure here. A little bit hilly. Blue front of the car, maybe. Maybe I'll go Poland. Okay, so not close. This was Portugal and Madeira. So Madeira is a very mountainous and semi-tropical island. Okay. Anytime I get one of the islands like off the coast, like over here, like one of the Portugal islands or one of the Spain islands, very hard for me to recognize unless I have one of those like route markers. So definitely should get better just recognizing it like vegetation wise. Okay. We have kind of like a valley over here. Okay. We're on this kind of like hilly area. We have B-type guardrail. We got the flat. We got the red little wedges inside of it. Okay. Bollard on the right is like a white, like kind of like a European bollard with like the black, like, you know, stripe around the middle, and then there's like an orange-ish color on the rectangle. Oops, just hit my mic. Blue strip on the left side of the license plate. Okay, so thinking somewhere in Europe for sure. Based on the language here, it's giving me like some idea, but not entirely sure. I don't know what language that is, but kind of a valley, B-type guardrail, orange on the right bollard, blue on the license plate, long white middle. What can I rule out? So I feel like language-wise we're somewhere here maybe, or yeah, because I think Bosnia has like the black top of the bollard, I'm pretty sure. What is a Croatia bollard ever? I like low-key forget. You know what, we'll go in Croatia, sure, because I think, yeah, Czechia and Slovakia would have a different bollard, so I can kind of rule those out. And language-wise, I don't remember what the Hungary bollard is, but I think this is an okay guess for now. Okay, cool. We did get the right country, so we'll definitely take that. This was Croatia Adriatic Coast. So the Adriatic Coast features rocky mountains similar to those seen in Montenegro or Albania. Shrubs are more common instead of trees along the coast, especially in the south. This coastal region has a lot of islands and peninsulas. Okay. Ooh, very big mountains in the back. Like they're almost kind of like, I don't know, it reminds me of like a dinosaur chicken nugget. Kind of like you see like the front of the dinosaur and then like the tops of like the backs of the scales of the dinosaur. I'll put up like a picture of like kind of what I mean if you've never had a dinosaur chicken nugget. But I had those a lot growing up. Okay, we are definitely in Malaysia, so I don't know if I would have gotten it strictly from the like vegetation and the hills and mountains and everything, but the left side driving is one thing that helped me. The black like tape on this pole, this kind of tells me usually that we're in like mainland Malaysia, although I think there's updated coverage with that in like Sabah and Sarawak. Also we see like a million Malaysia flags to the right, so seeing all those metas, being sure that we're in Malaysia, and then combining it with this like hilly mountainy area. Where do I think we are? Maybe I'll go near Bunga? No, Because it's not really like on a road, right? Maybe I should go closer to... You know what? I'll say here, near Mount Tahan. I think this should be an okay guess. Okay, we were a lot further north, so these were the Perles Rocks. So these isolated rock formations rising abruptly from an otherwise flat landscape can be found near the Thai border in the Perles state. Okay. Okay. We see a cow. Hello, Moo Moo. Also, if you guys ever played that, like, Moo Moo Meadows and Mario Kart, let me know down below. That was one of my favorite maps. Okay, we have a dark pavement road, a little bit of a black car, but we're here for the vegetation. So, kind of this, like, hilly valley, but not, like, super, like, tall. Like, I can see, like, the tops of, like, the valley as well as, like, the bottom part of it. The camera quality is interesting, which is making me think maybe I should consider Uruguay. I think so. I don't know. It's just like something about the camera quality, but I don't know if the vegetation is screaming Uruguay. I'll go near a char and we'll see where we are. All right, cool. You know what? I'm going to take it as a dub because we at least got the right country that time. So Uruguay, Minas Hills. So the landscape near the town of Minas is recognizable. Some of the tallest hills in the country with lots of exposed rocks and often heavy bushland vegetation. The image shown here is a fairly extreme example of this landscape. Usually it's more subtle. However, the exposed rock is always a good clue. The landscape in Quebrada de los Cuervos Nature Reserve, situated further north, can look similar. In addition, there are also very tall hills in the north of the country. Okay, we'll take 4.2. Okay, these are very like large poles. I don't know if they're like snow poles or something like that. White outer, yellow dash middle. Driving on the right. Okay. Guardrail in the back. A little house. Vegetation wise, what am I seeing? Like small hills, like not super tall. And then these like poles that are on the right side of the road are kind of made of like a reddish like pine stick or branch or something, it looks like to me. The houses in the back are red. And I feel like this blue sign that I see in the back is reminding me of Europe, so maybe I'm thinking like Norway, like somewhere in Norway. Maybe I'll go like a little bit in like, is this even the middle? Kind of like mid to south, because like, you know, Norway's like very tall. I'll go here near Namsos and we'll see where we are. Okay, we got the right country, so we'll take it. We were a lot further south though. These were the barren highlands. So barren highlands with no trees or bushes and often with rocky mountains along the road are mostly found in the southwest. Okay, green hills around us. Houses in the back, okay. Lots of like fences around. Kind of like a little waterway over there, okay. For some reason I got like New Zealand vibes off the start. I don't know if that's like oh my gosh, I keep hitting the mic today. I don't know if that's like a crazy shout. But yeah, kind of hilly, kind of green. That was my first thought. Oh, we also have this possum guard thing. So are we ever in Australia? We might be, but I feel like the media vibe I got was New Zealand, so I'll go near Palmerston North. Okay, we were in Tasmania. Oh my gosh, okay. Tasmania. Okay, so Tasmania has a cool temperate climate, which is uncommon in the rest of Australia, and is comparable to central southern Chile or New Zealand. So I did like think it was New Zealand for like a lot of it, so it kind of makes sense why it kind of looks like that. Typical landscape consists of green rolling hills that can look dry in winter coverage. Eucalyptus trees can be seen on the sides of the roads and on hills in the distance. Rural Tasmania is also quite hilly with dense eucalyptus forests making up the landscape. Okay. Okay, a little bit of like a tiny road that we're on. We're between some like mountainous, like hilly area, but not like super tall, like jagged mountains, more like kind of just like a rocky hill, I would say. We have kind of green fuzzy grass around, a little bit of like splotches of these like purplish pink flowers everywhere. but not kind of like, you know, big flowers like with petals, more just like smaller kind of like buds. Why did part of me think like Iceland? And then part of me also thought Lesotho. Those are very different like climates and landscapes, so I feel like one of those should stick out more than the other to me in my head, but I do not know. So I'll go with Lesotho, I think. But I also thought Iceland here. Let's see if either of those two are right. Ireland. Okay. So I would have been close if I guessed Iceland, but still wrong. Western mountains. So Ireland's west coast is defined by a rugged hilly landscape. Steep hills and low mountains dominate. The neat fields of the east make way for wild grass and moorlands. I don't really know what the definition of a moorland is. I know it has something to do with landscape and vegetation, so I'll put up a definition of moorland on the screen. The grass often has more brownish and yellow tones to it. Sometimes you'll be able to see exposed rocks. Okay. Kind of deserty. Kind of flat, like in the immediate areas beyond the road, and then a little bit in the distance, like a small, like, mountainous range we can see behind on both sides. Okay, on this pole in the back I see some yellow stripes on the pole, which is making me think California. I thought maybe Mex or US at first, but I feel like those stripes on the pole are making me think Cali's. So right side driving. I mean, Cali has like a lot of different like vegetation and like landscapes even within the state. So I think if we're somewhere like here with like the mountains and stuff, I'll go in like Death Valley National Park. Okay, you know what, I'll take it. So this was the Great Basin. So the Great Basin centered around Nevada can be recognized by the tall, sometimes snow-capped mountains in the background. There are dry but grassy and slightly shrubby plains leading up to the mountains. The tallest mountains are in Nevada, Utah, and California. More gradual, rocky hills can be seen in Oregon, and greener mountains can be seen in Idaho and central Utah. Okay. All right, we'll take 13.2K. I'm going to play this map one more time and see how many more landscape meadows I can learn. So let's see how I do and keep going. All right, a little bit of a hill around us. Okay, we have a sign on the left that says 75 and the arrow is pointing to the left, and it's a black arrow on a yellow diamond square on a yellow diamond. We do see New Zealand bollard, so I am sure that we're in New Zealand because of the bollard on the right with like the red rectangle and the one on the left with the red wraparound. Kind of hilly. Maybe I'm thinking Southern Island because we're... Yeah, I don't see like super mountainous areas, but maybe I'll go near Ashburton. Okay, we were in the right country, but I was in North Island, or we were in North Island and I guess in South Island. So New Zealand, Hawke's Bay Hills. So Hawke's Bay has dry golden grassy hills, and in Gen 4 it'll be sunny with a white street view car. Okay, so maybe there isn't updated coverage yet, but there will be soon. We at least got the right country though. Wow. Right away, I do know what country it is. It is Norway, and I know that because of the green plate, but we'll ignore that for now. So, huge lake. Very big, like, mountain kind of behind us, and lots of, like, tall pine trees. There's, like, a house up there on the edge a little bit. And we have these outer lines, which are longer than Sweden lines, because I remember when I was learning like road line metas or something like that, it was like Norway, like the road lines, the dash outer are like normal size, and then S for Sweden for shorter lines, and in Finland it's full line, so not dashed. But yeah, outer lines plus the green plate plus just like the vegetation and everything, I guess, like definitely confirms we're in Norway. Where do I think we are within Norway? Probably near some sort of like big like lake or riverway or something, so maybe I'll go here near Skjolden. Okay, I will take that. Not bad at all. These were deep fjords. So while fjords can be found along most of the Norwegian coast, deep fjords surrounded by tall mountains are most common between Bergen and Trondheim. But Bergen and Trondheim is a large area, no? Isn't Trondheim, yeah, up here? Okay, well, still good to know for, I guess, like narrowing down a part of the country. Okay, we have these like really like rocky mountains behind us, but they're not like sharp, jagged rocks, although they do have like a lot of different like shapes on the side of the mountain. Okay, so the sign in front of us says own with like a circumflex above the O. So do I think this is France? Part of me thought it was Italy at first, just based on like the mountain and everything, but I don't know if Italian has that circumflex above the O in the language. So am I ever thinking like maybe like somewhere like in this area, you know, like France, Switzerland, Italy, but because I mean I feel like maybe I'll go on the French side, kind of near Chamonix, which is kind of near Switzerland, kind of near Italy. But yeah, the immediate vibe I got was Italy, so I feel like maybe we're not too far from there, but the language accent is making me think not Italy. Okay, we were in Italy and we were in the Alps, so we got a pretty good score regardless. This was the Italian Alps. The Alpine region in northern Italy has tall, wide mountain regions and deep valleys. Okay, but yeah, Italian Alps, we still got a pretty good score. We'll take it 4.7. All right, we have a lot of like kind of like flat green land around us, but then in the back we have these like green like rock things that are kind of just like in the middle of like the flat areas. White dash outer, we have these yellow bollards with like white rectangles on them, which is making me think Iceland, because yellow bollards are usually Iceland or Faroe Islands, but this is not Faroe Islands. So white dash outer, yellow bollard, this rocky thing, definitely thinking Iceland here. Maybe I'm thinking like here on Route 41, because I did go to Iceland once and I feel like maybe this reminds me of like the drive from Keflavik, like the airport to Reykjavik, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll at least get the right country here though for sure. Okay, this was Selfoss Mountains. We're a little bit more further inland. You can recognize the area near the town of Selfoss from its distinct flat ridge mountain. Due to the otherwise flat landscape, this mountain can be seen from a wide area. Okay. What the? Okay. Ending on maybe a person trekker. Wow. Not getting a whole lot from this one. Okay, so the first thing I noticed vegetation-wise are these, like, kind of, like, barren trees. Like, there's no, like, leaves or anything on them, but I don't know if just, like, off-season they're kind of, like, dead or whatever. But the trunks themselves are white, so and it's not giving, like, you know, birch tree white. Like, it's very, like, interesting kind of trees and everything. In the back, I can see, like, a slight mountain. I can see, like, a lot of water. So we're near some sort of, like, coastline. I feel like we're in some sort of, like, national park or something like that, because we're A, on the person trekker, and B, because of this just, like, path and everything around this. The one thing that's kind of pointing me towards South America in my head, or North America, is this cactus here. Like, maybe I'm thinking in the Americas. Part of me also thought, like, is it ever, like, one of these, like, islands over here, like, one of these Spain islands, or even one of the Portugal ones, too? But would they ever have a person trekker just, like, somewhere in, like, South America, or, like, I mean, they have person trekkers everywhere. I don't personally know this coverage. Part of me thinks Uruguay, or, like, you know, somewhere in South America, but, like, part of me is also, like, whispering, like, oh, what if it's one of these islands? And I feel like because it's the last round, I kind of have to yellow it, right? You know what? I'm going to go with it. I'll go in Gran Canaria, like one of these islands, and we'll see where we are. If we're in the complete opposite side of the world, that is okay, because we'll learn from it. So let's see if we're here. Okay. All right, so we did correctly identify that we're on an island, I guess. So small wins there, even though we only got 18 points. these were the Galapagos Islands. So the Galapagos Islands are an archipelago located west of mainland Ecuador. There are only trekkers and boat coverage on and around the islands. There's a wide variety of landscapes, including volcanic soil, low shrubbery, and craters. And oh my gosh, we see a Galapagos turtle right there. Love turtles. Hello, turtle. Look at the shell pattern on it. It is very, very cool. I wonder if you can get the Galapagos Islands in duels or like in like a lot of maps, like if it's in the map distribution. I've never seen it, but it could be just like one of those like really rare things, you know? Like I've gotten Megilla, Spain twice, and I feel like I've like never gotten it again after getting it like the same time in like 1 week. But we'll take it. You know, we ended on not the best score there for that particular round, but I think we got one of the best scores we got overall in this whole video. So that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video of me learning landscape metas in Geoguessr. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. Also have the map linked in the description if you want to try it yourself. Thank you so much again for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to French Vanilla and have a great day.